I want to say, first of all, I want to give you some love and say I'm so proud of you because we're actually sitting here talking about your feature film debut as a director. How's that make you feel, just hearing
Are you
it?
crying? Don't cry.
Trying to keep my emotions in check.
Amazing. It feels amazing, specifically with this movie and this story, because I've been directing for decades. A decade. I've been directing for a decade.
We're not that old.
I'm not that old. I've been directing for a minute, and this story found me. It wasn't like I was like, oh, it's time to direct a film. I read this story, and I was blown away that it was a Mexican-American, and I was Mexican-American, and I didn't know the story. I was like, how do I not know who Richard Montañez is? We should all know who Richard Montañez is. Did you know who he was?
I knew who he was vaguely, like I didn't really
the
know
legend.
the backstory. In the legend, and that was another thing. So how much creative liberty did you have in this particular story, since it obviously struck a chord with you, and it is a story that people should hear. How much creative liberty did you take, or is it a pretty accurate depiction?
Well, no, he has 2 memoirs. I mean, there's 2 books that he's written about his life.
And is the movie based on one of them?
The movie is based on both of them and his life. So we, Searchlight and the producer, Devon Franklin, had optioned the books. And then when I came on board and I got hired, I sat down with him and I brought Linda Chavez, our writer, and we did a page 1 rewrite. We were like, whoa, like there's way more to his life than what was in the books. And so it's a beautiful, inspirational story about Richard Montañez. It's not the history of the Flaming Hot Cheeto. It's about the life of this guy and everything that he's encountered and overcome. And you go, man, this guy shouldn't be alive, much less successful. So to see him not only survive but thrive is really what makes this like the best feel-good movie you'll see in a long time.
So like a Mexican Rocky.
It's like a Mexican Rocky. Yes,
And
but for everybody.
Right.
But for everybody, meaning not just Latinos, everybody.
Sure.
But also kids, your grandma. Like this is total co-viewing. Everybody can see this movie and is going to walk away going, whoa, I'm blown away.
Family friendly, that's awesome.
Super family friendly.
How involved was Richard?
Richard was super involved. He was very, it was so great to have him. He didn't come to set every day. He came to set like maybe 3 or 4 different times. He's in the movie, but he was super involved with the like accuracy of the factory. We built this Cheeto factory, Frito-Lay factory. We built, his house. We recreated his house. We had all his pictures of the early uniforms and his hair, and Judy's hair is all cholo.
That's awesome.
It was great.
How many Flamin' Hot Cheetos did you eat?
You know what? Because the movie, like I said, the movie's not about the Flaming Hot Cheeto. It does come in at the end of the movie. So we didn't have Flaming Hots there.
Oh.
What we had was the white Cheetos, because those were the ones that were in the machines.
Yeah.
Because the Flaming Hot didn't get invented till the end of the movie. And those are called white cheddar Cheetos, and that's what I got addicted to. Oh my God.
They are addicting.
They're so good.
Are you hooked up now for life? Because after
For
this,
life.
Right?
I'm just kidding. But you know what's so funny? Because I always tell Frito-Lay this. I'm like, Frito-Lay makes the Flaming Hot Cheeto, but the Latino community owns the Flaming Hot brand.
Absolutely.
Don't you think?
Yeah, of course. There's even like all kinds of TikTok recipes of how people
Oh my
eat
God.
the
Elote?
Yes.
Elote with the Flaming Hot?
Yes, with the little
Mac
sprinkle
and
right
cheese?
there. The mac and cheese is good. I actually, believe it or not, I actually like it on my soup. But you gotta eat it quick because I like the
'cause it gets
crunchy
soggy.
and then it gets soggy. So I like, and then you put it in the sandwiches
just do
and
it per
stuff.
spoon.
Yeah. Has Santi eaten the Cheetos yet?
He has not. He's not a spicy person yet.
He's
I know.
Mexican.
I know. I got to do a better job at introducing him to spicy foods because he's not a fan of spicy yet.
Introducing to spicy foods and introducing to wrestling.
Wrestling.
Tell me when you're ready.
Yes.
We're ready for that. Much like Richard's career, we obviously have known each other a long time and came up. I can't believe all these years. I was talking to Tootie about it actually.
Don't age us.
No. But the first time we met, I have a question for you.
Oh, okay. What? Oh, God. I don't
When
remember
we first,
it. Yeah.
we were trying to figure the first time, or just one of the first times we remember meeting me. What did you think of me then, as opposed to what do you think of me now?
Oh, my God. Do you want that answer on camera?
I've always been a gentleman. What are you talking about?
I'm just kidding. No. Honestly, I think we're both the same person. I always tell people this. We're like who you are right now, other than you're an amazing dad and husband, that's different.
Right.
But like your essence and your being is like you're the exact person I met 100 years ago.
Thank you. And you know what? Honestly, all seriousness, likewise with you too.
Yeah.
You've always been driven. You've always been ambitious, much like this character too. And you've always been cool. And you have the same friends too. That says a lot about you.
Yeah.
Same as me.
You're the same friends.
I have the same friends
Yeah,
right
we're
there.
both very close to our families.
Yeah. Exactly.
Your mom's always with you, my mom's always with me.
Right. Exactly.
That's always been the case.
That's always, I mean, that's just a culture thing too.
No,
but I think it says,
my
a lot
impression
about
of you
people.
back then was like, oh my God, what a funny, cool dude. And I loved that we were like the same. We were both Mexican American. We were both in this industry. We were kind of like, we're both super American, but we're both super tied to our culture. And like I think that's hard to find in this industry sometimes.
Exactly. People who embrace it and are proud. You're right.
Yeah.
And isn't it a trip that all these years later too, like we're sitting across from each other and still getting to do this?
I know.
It's kind of cool.
This is actually really cool because what you've done with your career and where you are and everything that you produce and you do and your businesses, it's like, wow, this is crazy. The lives that we built that we dreamed of 20 years ago.
Is there something that you would say to yourself, to ourselves, a piece of advice you would give to our younger selves then?
No, because I wouldn't want to change the trajectory of any decision I made back then, even the bad ones. Like the bad decisions, I learned so much from. So I would say, like, fasten your seatbelt because it's going to be a bumpy ride, but it's going to be a fun ride.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be like avoid that, thing because I learned something from that.
No, you did.
What would you?
No, there's a few.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. With you,
with me, thanks.
Yeah, with you, I would have put some red flags up a little bigger.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Next time. Thinking back, it's funny because Studio and I were talking on the way over here too. 20 years since Desperate Housewives, right? Premiered.
2004. Yeah. So
yeah, almost 20 years. It's going to be 20 years.
Yeah.
And I remember when we went to the party, the premiere party. It was a Johnny Walker party right here in Hollywood, not far. It was outside. I remember there was the poster or a billboard right there. And you looked up and said, "We'll be lucky if we get one season." I don't know if you remember that.
No,
but
I do. I mean, I do remember saying that. Like, I was like, this will never get picked up. It's so different.
Yeah.
We weren't a comedy. We weren't a drama. And I thought, oh, I hope people get it. And apparently they did.
Yeah. I'm sure you've been approached a lot already, but do you like leaving it as it is, or would you be open to another sort of rendition?
I would be the first to sign up for a reboot. I miss Gabby so much. I miss being Gabby Solis. Mark wouldn't do it, our creator. I've talked to him several times. Yeah, he feels like there's no why now. Like for the sake of a reboot, he wouldn't do it. He wants to know, like, what do I have to say with these characters that we haven't already fully mined? I come from the generation of 24 episodes a year for a decade of our lives. Like there's no more 6 episode per season stuff that there is now. This was like 24 episodes a year. We fully mined those characters. There was nobody on the street I was left to sleep with. Like, I slept with everybody. I was like, what do we do now? So that Mark feels like he doesn't know. Like back then, 20 years ago, we were saying something about ageism, and we were saying something about being a housewife, and it was shocking, and there was a lot of things we said and did that was groundbreaking, and I don't think it is now. Now it's like the norm.
That's interesting, and that's too bad too, because you look the same. You could pick up where you left off.
I look the same. I know. They were like, "What would Gabby be today?" I'm like, "She'd be an influencer for sure. She'd be like a social media mogul."